Good afternoon and welcome to the Media News. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled Tertiary Education Trust Fund-sponsored yearly intervention project at the nation's foremost military university, Nigeria Defense Academy, Nigerian Air Force Institute of Technology, Kaduna Polytechnic, as well as Kaduna State University. Represented by the Chairman Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Aliyu Wamako, the President noted that the projects at NDA cost over 685 million naira, AFIT over 604 million naira, CASU over 491 million naira, and Kaduna Polytechnic cost over 450 million naira for the 2020 and 2021 annual intervention and merged projects. The inauguration project at NDA included a computer-based test hall, Faculty of Management and Military Science buildings, while that of AFIT, Department of Cybersecurity, Students Hostel of the 2020 Zonal National Student Hostel of the 2021 Zonal Intervention. In his remarks, shortly after the launching, Senator Wamako stressed the importance of education in the nation's development, adding that inaugurating the project would in no small measure enhance teaching and learning in the country. The Federal Executive Council has approved the National Child Online Protection Policy and Strategy. The meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantare, told newsmen at the end of the cabinet meeting that the strategy aims at protecting children from the harmful side of the digital environment. Pantare said the policy is in line with the International Telecommunication Union's policy document for all its member countries. He highlighted the benefits of going online, with the world population reaching 10 billion last November, and currently around 6.3 billion people are online, and by implication comprises the higher percentage of children, but they will not be able to differentiate between what is beneficial and what is harmful. He pointed out that the Ministry of Information and Culture, the National Broadcasting Commission, and the National Orientation Agency, among others, have roles to play. Meanwhile, International Telecommunication Union indicated that more than 1 billion children were online during COVID-19 lockdowns for the studies because schools were shut. The Central Bank of Nigeria has warned any commercial bank that rejects old naira notes before the January 31 deadline will face stiff penalties. CBN Director of Internet Audit in Adamawa State, Mrs. Lydia Alpha, gave the warning in Yola. She added that the Apex Bank would consider such actions from any commercial bank as sabotage and treat them according to its laws. Alpha explained that to ensure that rural dwellers are not negatively affected by the new policy of Naira redesign, super agents have been dispatched to the 21 local councils of Adamawa State to mop up the old notes before the deadline, while urging Nigerians to applaud the CBN for the Naira redesign policy. She pointed out that the benefits to the stability of the country's economy is huge. Alpha advised big business outlets, including filling stations, to use point-of-sale services for their customers. The House of Representatives has read out riot act to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and his management team over the public outcry on the January 31 deadline issued on the cash withdrawal limit and the currency swap policy. Chairman of the committee investigating the policy, Honorable Hassan Adodogura, said this while briefing members of the communication from the CBN on the inability to the CBN management to attend the investigative hearing, while noting that the CBN governor and other directors are employees of Nigerians. Honorable Adodogura warned that the House would not tolerate any excuses for the absence of the invited public office holders on the rescheduled meeting today. The lawmaker, who reiterated the need for a review of the policy, which he described as unpopular, argued that it has impacted negatively on businesses and well-being of Nigerians across the country. With exactly 1 month to the general elections, a coalition of civil society organizations led by the aegis of West African Democratic Solidarity Network has stated that Nigeria must avoid unnecessary agitation during the electoral process. The organization, a coalition of 30 civil society and other civic organizations in the ECOWAS region, included the Center for Democratic Development and Yaga Africa. According to them, conducting a free, fair and credible poll would ensure that there is no outbreak of violence and agitations in any part of the country. The coalition also called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure credible conduct of the exercise through transparency. The coordinator of Wadamos, Kopep Bagwat, made the observations in Abuja during an interactive session between members of the Wadamos Election Working Group and journalists ahead of the 2023 general elections. The session was part of the coalition's 3-day solidarity mission to Nigeria from January 25 to 27 ahead of the February 25 presidential elections, while stating that the 2023 general elections in Nigeria were crucial not just for Nigeria alone, but for West Africa and the African continent. He said Nigeria must get it right for the sake of the continent. The ruling All Progressives Congress and opposition People's Democratic Party have described the decision of the United States to place visa restrictions on some Nigerians accused of undermining democracy as a welcome development. The U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, who disclosed the decision in a statement, said the sanctioned individuals whose names it did not reveal will be ineligible for U.S. visas. The top-ranking diplomat also explained that some family members of those barred from the U.S. may also be subjected to the same restrictions. Speaking with newsmen, the director of publicity of the APC, Bala Ibrahim, said the party frowned at anything capable of threatening democracy in the country and welcomed sanctions against anyone found culpable. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Oluguagba, said the party had been calling for such sanctions, adding that the position has remained the same. And moving on to sports, top officials of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria will today gather in Jalingo, Taraba State to start final preparations for the maiden national 10-kilometer cross-country championship, which holds on Saturday. AFN First Vice President and Road Race Subcommittee Chairman Safida Gazama said the cross-country race is also being organized to help develop Nigeria's middle and long-distance runners. The race is being organized in fulfillment of the roadmap of the Tonobok Okowa-led AFN Executive Board to develop athletics across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. According to the AFN, prize monies will be given to top 10 finishers in the senior men and senior women categories. It was learned that Kenya has held many races already since December, and the World Cross-Country Race is holding next month in Australia. And moving on to the foreign scene, a court in Kenya has found a Venezuelan diplomat, Bright Sagari, guilty of murdering the Latin American nation's acting ambassador about 10 years ago at her home in an upmarket Nairobi neighborhood. Judge Roslyn Correa ruled that Bright Sagari, who was the first secretary at the embassy, was found guilty of the July 2012 killing of Olga Fosenka. The court also convicted 3 Kenyan nationals who had been charged alongside Sagari, saying they were involved in a common plan to carry out the murder. Another suspect who fled after the murder is still at large, and the court said his arrest warrant should remain in force. The court ruled that Saberi would be tried for the murder because he did not enjoy diplomatic immunity after Venezuela waived it following the crime. Release Fonseca, aged 57, was found strangled in a bedroom less than 2 weeks into her posting to Nairobi, which followed the abrupt departure of the previous ambassador after he was accused by his domestic staff of sexual harassment. The court found out that Saberi, who had been heading the nation before the arrival of Fonseca, was angered by her presence since he wanted to continue overseeing the embassy. And that ends the media news on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Do join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.